Hello, my name is Kjersti Cote, and today we would love to talk about the Forever Pack. I have three amazing guests on our audio today with us. Mr. John Anderson, who is the founder of Isagenix International. John has been in the nutraceutical industry for about 40 years in all areas, including private label manufacturing, formulating, telomere research, and he's truly a leader in this industry and has changed so many lives with his amazing products. Next is Dr. Bill Andrews. He's the founder of Sierra Sciences, and he earned his PhD in molecular and population genetics and physiology, but his focus is mostly on as a molecular geneticist and a medical researcher. He's a leading research scientist in telomere biology. He's an author. He says that he's going to cure aging or die trying. I love it. He's been on many TV shows and films as well. And then third is Dave MacArthur. Dave MacArthur is one of our Isagenix millionaires. He's incredibly passionate about changing world health one person at a time. He is the genius and brainstorm behind the Forever Pack, which is a 2-product pack. It's spreading across the Isagenix company like crazy. So to all three of you gentlemen, welcome. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, and Dave, I actually want to start with you. This was your brainchild, the Forever Pack, and putting these 2 products together, and share with everybody what it's all about and why you chose these 2 products.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed as I was progressing in a greater understanding of health and the human anatomy and the role that nutrition plays, I also noticed in human behavior. And there were a lot of, I guess, built-in challenges that come with help introducing somebody to health that maybe hasn't been so healthy. Either that's through ignorance or just through paradigms and habits that we create over time. And it was a very obvious challenge. And what I started realizing was that these lifestyles and these habits and the environment and either, the knowledge or the lack of knowledge in this case, and the stresses of the workplace that people are bringing with them when we introduce them to this healthy lifestyle, and the time constraints and all of these things, they add up to a very difficult challenge to help create somebody who's going to take on a healthy lifestyle, a habit. And healthy people just have healthy habits. They're making the right choices every day in and day out, month after month, year after year. And so that principle of health is in their favor. Where somebody who may not quite understand all of the different dynamics, they've created unhealthy habits for whatever reason, not purposefully, but just inadvertently. And so day after day, they are creating these habits and maintaining these habits that lead to an unhealthy body. Day after day, month after month, year after year. And so what I like to just kind of start out with, why the Forever Pack? Because I feel like it takes on a whole myriad of those challenges that are all grouped into one individual's life. And it eliminates a lot of the harder challenges that I see people were trying to work through. Because health is not a momentary decision. It's not a purchase. And we see that a lot at the beginning of the year. People buy gym memberships, but by February, they're not utilizing those gym memberships anymore. We see people buy healthy systems and programs of nutrition, and yet they go back after a few months to, going backwards, basically going back to where they were before they started. And so again, even what I even noticed, which was kind of hard to understand at first, but now I understand it, is that even people that had I'm talking amazing results, a turnaround with their health, their energy, their mental clarity, and the challenges that they were experiencing, even with that great experience, I still found many times they went back to their old habits and they gave up that very thing that produced that for them. And so I just chalk that up as that's part of the program. We just have to work to help people get through that. It was a frustrating, very saddening thing that I watched happen. And so as I'm always striving to look for that next level of how can we help people overcome these challenges and really help people to take their lives to the next level and then maintain that as a healthy lifestyle, it was a matter of realizing that something needed to be simple. Well, it needed to be easy to understand. It needed to be simple to do. It needed to be affordable because there are the stresses of finances. And before somebody really is committed to a healthy lifestyle and has created that habit, that comes into play. So it needed to be something that would be affordable. It needed to produce results, and it needed to produce the results very quickly. And then in this case, with wanting to share this message and create, the largest health and wellness company in the world and really make an impact in world health, it needed to be shareable. And so taking all of these different dynamics and willing out all of these challenges that were innately within the process, I came up with the Forever Pack. And, the science behind isagenesis is just, when I heard that from Bill Andrews, I had never heard of a telomere before. And the critical role that it plays in somebody's life and in their health. It's the foundation of every single cell. I mean, I just haven't gotten off that soapbox ever since I first heard that in 2009. And I realized that if we have a supplement, which we do, that can support that telomere foundation, we're going to be setting somebody up for success right away in a very simple approach. And then to add to that, you are what you eat. And to create this nutrition that I don't even call it superfood. It's beyond superfood, our meal replacement shake, right? It's beyond that. It's unparalleled nutrition that somebody couldn't even create on their own. And so matching these two together was that solution to eliminate so many challenges that we experience as a customer, as an associate, and somebody who's wanting to be an impact in somebody else's life, and also to build a business. It nailed it. And there are so many wins that we see from starting somebody out like this. And just one other thing that I'll say towards that, and if you have anything else that you feel could add to that, everybody knows they need extra nutrition nowadays. Everybody's familiar with taking a shake, whether they've gone to Jamba Juice or they're making their own in their blender at home. And some people have even bought the juicer, where you have to clean out the screen afterwards, but they fall short. And we understand why that those things fall short. And because of the lack of real nutritional density in those and getting them delivered in a, very synergistic way, which the shake does. So everybody's familiar with that. We don't have to convince anybody of that. And so, and again, I would say most people have already attempted that or they're doing that currently. So all we're going to do is just say, we're just going to slide this unparalleled nutrition as that shake every single morning. It's just one shake every morning. And then 2 pills in the morning and 2 pills at night to support the foundation of every cell in our body on that telomere level. And so people are it really grabs a lot of interest with the science behind the telomeres, just like it did for me back in 2009. It's very captivating. It creates a lot of curiosity. And so putting those two together, people are embracing it. The cost is at a place where they don't even talk about the cost. And as I've been sharing this particular pack, the Forever Pack, which is a shake every morning, and the Isagenesis, 2 pills in the morning, 2 pills at night. It's a lot of times at the presentations that I'm doing live, it's 100% sign up, and people are embracing it and they turn around very quickly and share it with others. So in all the different aspects of what we faced as challenges, they almost seem like it's like very favorable and positive results where we were coming up with these challenges. And I hope and want that for everybody else too, as they're sharing these amazing products. And then what I knew would happen from introducing them to that, they get on the product, they start, creating a habit, a very simple, easy to understand habit every day. And what happens is it gains confidence and it gains the integrity of the company because the products are working for them and the profound results that they're getting. And what I see in every case is that people start adding more of the other products that are so essential in my life, and I want them to be on those products. I just saw that I did them a favor by starting out at a minimal and working in more and more of these incredible life-changing products. And I know that this is probably a question that a lot of people are going to be asking as they're introduced to this audio is, well, what about the cleanse? What about the Ionic Supreme? I mean, those are products that I love. And I say, I love them too. And, our products don't cleanse the body. the body cleanses itself. We have organs that actually do that innately within us. You have your kidney, your colon, your liver, these different systems that we have. And so when we can fortify those with nutrition, those organs work more effectively. And adding just these two I shouldn't say just, these incredible, two powerful products to the body that has not been utilizing those, immediately we start to fortify the body and the organs with those nutrients that they haven't been getting. And so in a sense, they do help the body to start cleansing. Now, yes, we do have things that could facilitate that cleansing and facilitate that weight loss and things that people are looking for. But we want to treat this like a marathon rather than a race, right? And we're setting the person up with the mindset to really look at this as a lifestyle. We're going to create a healthy foundational lifestyle, and then we're going to build on that. So again, Kjersti, it's been a win-win all the way around, and I'm just so excited that it is catching on, and so many others are starting to see and experience this.
Absolutely. That it is exciting. And I love what you said, the need, the simplicity, the affordability, the duplication, really a movement inside of the Isagenix movement. It's pretty exciting. Now, John, I want to switch to you. You have had an incredible career in the formulating, manufacturing, nutraceutical industry. 40 years. It's amazing. And to have a breakthrough like Isagenesis is absolutely incredible. And I want to just kind of turn it to you just to reminisce for a second on what it was like to meet Bill, and of course collaborating and then testing out, bringing forth what we now have as Isagenesis.
Well, thanks, Kjersti. What a breakthrough. I'm telling you, when Peter Greenlaw called me and said, you have to meet this guy. You've got to meet this doctor. You got to meet this scientist. You've got to hear what he has to say, about telomere biology, telomere research. I thought, wow, man, I'm busy. I don't have a lot of time. He bugged me for probably 2 weeks until I finally agreed to get on a call with Dr. Andrews. And I was completely shocked and literally surprised to hear about telomere biology, what it means for the human body. One of the huge markers in aging and our overall general health. It was so exciting. I heard about all of the research and screening ingredients, materials, from all over the world. They were screening a lot of drugs, chemicals, trying to find inducers that would actually lift the suppressor and turn on the gene that produces telomerase. And the science behind it was absolutely so mind-boggling. I planned a trip to Reno to visit, with Dr. Andrews and his staff of literally genius scientists. I was sitting in a conference room, with all of these very, very intelligent, specialized doctors, scientists, researchers. Dr. Andrews gave me a presentation. I had a tour through the lab. It was absolutely unbelievable. And all this time while sitting there and looking around, I was thinking, man, these people are looking in the wrong place. They're looking at chemicals, they're looking at drugs, they're looking at things that could be potentially toxic in the body. And I was thinking, how do I tell these scientists they're looking in the wrong place, and that I believed I could find a hit that would help, in their telomere research. I just really believed that I could do it, and that they were really, going through their voyage and mission of looking for inducers in the wrong place. They were turning over the wrong rocks. They weren't looking at the earth and what it had to actually supply us, those gifts that God put on this earth that can truly make a difference. So, I kind of quietly, and cleared my throat. And I said, I believe you're all looking in the wrong place. I think I can prep ingredients. I know how to prep ingredients like no other company has ever done. I've developed some different processes to be able to bring out those phytochemicals that are hidden in the roots, the rhizomes, the leaves, the stems, all of the parts of all these different botanicals and ingredients and enzymes and amino acids. I wanted to literally start testing everything I could possibly get my hands on. And I told him, I made a very, very bold statement. I said, I think I can find a hit. I don't think it'll take long. And Dr. Andrews, Bill, give us your opinion. When I made that statement, what were you and the scientists actually thinking?
Well, at first we didn't believe it because we had already tested several natural products, extracts, and none of them worked. I would say we tested thousands of them. But we learned pretty quickly that your involvement enhanced our research a lot, because as soon as I think you sent us 15 samples and one of them was a hit. We did find something that worked. And then you sent us another 15 and we found another one that worked, and that second set of 15. So after failing in thousands, and then have you come along and provide us with 30 samples and we get 2 out of 30, that was definitely showing us that there's a lot more to screening and looking for telomerase inducers, I call them, than just doing the screening. It's also the source of the things that we test.
Isn't that amazing? So, I mean, it really proved to be a synergy, a partnership, collaborating with a staff of scientists that have been assembled to research, telomere biology and so forth. And here's this botanical guy, a vitamin manufacturer in the nutraceutical industry that's in a completely different area that comes along, and that collaboration has proven to be very invaluable for the industry and for people, the consumers, and the products that can come about from this. So it's really been phenomenal.
That is just so exciting. And Dr. Andrews, I just want to have you share a little bit about telomere science, like Telomere 101, just briefly with our listeners, just so they kind of understand what we're talking about with telomere science.
Well, I think I can make it pretty simple. Telomeres are the very tips of our chromosomes, and it's been known since the 1970s that they get shorter as we age. But most people thought this was because it was a result of aging, that aging was actually causing the telomeres to shorten, just like the caps in our shoelaces get shorter as our shoelaces get older. But in the early 1990s, we discovered an enzyme called telomerase that could lengthen telomeres. And we were able to show that we could slow down telomere shortening, we could stop telomere shortening, and we could even reverse telomere shortening by just the amount of telomerase that we introduced into the cells. The more telomerase we induced, the more impact it had on preventing the shortening of telomeres. And this, more importantly, this correlated very exactly with we could slow down declining health, we could stop declining health, and we could reverse declining health, again, by the amount of telomerase that was produced in these cells. And this has been reproduced by thousands of labs all over the world to be an absolute truth to the power of lengthening telomeres.
Wow, I love it. And it's Nobel Prize winning science. It is a huge, huge deal. And it seems almost too good to be true. But really, when you take a look at telomere health, obviously with the testing of all of the hundreds of thousands of things that you've tested in the lab to try to figure out how to keep our telomeres healthy, it's been quite a journey for you. And that brings me back to you, John, because Isagenesis, you met in 2010, you started collaborating, we popped out product B, the billion-dollar product, which then was given the name Isagenesis. We've rolled through 4 different generations of this, currently on generation 4. And my question to you, and I know all of the listeners are probably dying to hear, because this is not a standstill product, do we have generation 5 coming?
Well, that's a good question. Everybody asks that question. I have a good answer. We actually are screening more ingredients. Back a few years ago, in prepping a lot of ingredients, I acquired a new library of botanicals, and I buy these libraries that are certified by botanists from all over the different continents all over the world. I have libraries from India, from China, from all over the world. I have them from Europe. I have a library from Poland, different countries that all have different types of botanicals and also common botanicals that are grown in different areas. And what I've found is ingredients that are the same plant, the same species, the same part of the plant that may be grown in China versus the same exact plant grown in Poland or India or somewhere in Europe or even the United States may be significantly different in their actual phytochemical structure and the potency of certain phytochemicals that we have to expose and more or less unlock the power of it in the plant. So not all ingredients are created equally, even if they're the same species. I think it has a lot to do with the enzymes, the live microbial activity in the soil, the folate, the different actives in the soil, and the minerals and the stressing conditions of either arid or different types of climates all have a factor in how these plants generate the different phytochemicals. So it's crazy. The humic acid in the soil is not the same in all areas. So it's really a science in really searching the world for these botanicals, prepping them, and then sending them to Sierra Sciences to try to see if we're going to get that big hit. We've been very successful. We now have, a very, very good fourth generation, which is an extremely potent, in telomere biology and telomere support. The fifth generation, we have some new ingredients that are hip ingredients that support telomere science. We're working on those. Maybe I would say about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I started working with a company in actually planting crops, larger crops of an ingredient, a botanical that was really not common and was not really readily available in the potencies, in the phytochemical content that we really needed. So I gave them a very large deposit. They started planting the botanical, and now today they've produced several cycles of the crop. We're doing the screening now. In fact, Sierra Sciences Bill just screened one of the ingredients recently. I believe that was a couple of weeks ago. And sure enough, we got a hit, didn't we, Bill?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah. So it's an evolution. We will have a fifth generation. It's going to be much different than the fourth generation, and it will continue to evolve, in the science. And as we have more hits available and more science behind telomere biology, that's going to go into the next generation. So 20 years from now, you're going to see a completely different product than you're seeing right now today. Anything to add to that, Bill?
I just believe that the more samples we test, that we have so far to go up in success here, that the more samples we can test, the better and better isogenesis will become.
Boy.
Can I add something to that as well?
Yes.
I was just at Bill's lab just this last week, a few days ago, And Lancer, who works there, he's one of the scientists in the lab, was taking me through the tour and showing me all the different procedures. And these procedures, Lancer actually created. And Bill was saying, as we were going through this tour, he was saying it's quite possible that Lancer is in the category of one of the brightest, most intelligent scientists that are alive on the planet today. And after going through and watching all these procedures and seeing the different stages that they go through and what they've developed in this lab, I absolutely agree. And it's astounding. It's phenomenal. And as we were going from the different rooms, from room to room, we came into a room that had these boxes with rows and rows. It must have been dozens. There must have been maybe hundreds of little tiny vials, all perfectly packaged in these boxes. And I'm like, can I take a picture of that? And they're like, those are John's. John sent those over. And I'm like, I'm taking a picture of that, right? And it was just so exciting to see the active role that's going into this product and the collaboration. And it's so critical. The information that's going back and forth between John formulating and the feedback that he's getting from the lab, which is going to accelerate things. And one of the questions I had to ask while I was there is this still the only lab on the planet today that can do the things that you are doing here? And both Lancer and Bill said yes, without any hesitation. And I may be a little biased, but I love being able to say that. And the credibility and the vetting behind the product and the processes that go into it. It is just an incredible alignment with something that we just don't see very often. So I just thought I'd add that.
That is so powerful. Very, very exciting. I would have loved to have toured. Bill, I'm going to have to come up and see you too. That sounds like fun.
Oh, you got an open welcome invitation anytime you want, you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I just, what is it like to be able to test all these little vials and get these hits after so many years of testing, I guess synthesized chemicals, natural, plant-based phytochemicals. I mean, there's so much that you've done with testing, and here you're getting these little trays of and boxes of vials from John's lab, and you're testing and you get these hits. So what is it like for you?
Well, let me first say there's more than just hundreds of these vials. There's more than 10,000 of these vials that John has sent to us. And it is very exciting because by testing these natural products, when we find something that actually induces telomerase expression, we know it works. We don't have to worry about the side effects that the pharmaceuticals can provide and the synthetic chemicals can provide. It means, wow, we really have something that we can provide to people to improve people's health and everything. That's pretty. It's been pretty exciting.
It's been exciting, yeah. So I want to kind of totally switch gears here. We've talked about telomeres and telomerase and isogenesis and lots of exciting things. Obviously, the second piece to the Forever Pack are the Isalean shakes. So John, I want to move to that real quick. What are some of the features and benefits of the Isalean shake, and what excites you about this? Because we've got Isalean, we have Isalean Pro, we have Isalean Dairy Free. So there's a lot going on here.
Oh, yes. Before moving to the shakes, I have a question for Bill. And I know the answer, but it comes up and the consumers and the members of Isagenix and the newcomers in that don't know a lot about the science of telomeres and telomere research and biology. Bill, it keeps popping up about the HeLa cells. Henrietta Lacks from, I think it was like around 1959. She had cervical cancer. Her actual cancer cells were harvested, and they're basically immortal. Those are kind of the gold standard HeLa cells that we're striving to actually get to, are cells that are going to be healthy and reproduce, with plenty of telomerase. But there's kind of a myth out there, and that is, does telomerase, let me put it this way, does telomerase induce or cause cancer? Can you address that?
Well, the short answer is absolutely not. And this is a rumor that's been circulating, but if you stay away from the hearsay and actually go to the scientific peer-reviewed research studies, you'll find that 95% of all studies show the exact opposite is true. And what is true is that when telomeres get short, the short telomeres induce all kinds of mutations and chromosome rearrangements that are also mutations inside the cells. And those mutations are what cause those cells to become cancer. Those mutations also allow the cancers, additional mutations that get created because the telomeres are short, cause those cancer cells to start spreading to other places. And then additional mutations on top of those make it so that cancer cells survive everything you hit them with. That's why chemotherapy will get rid of 99.99% of the cancer cells, but a few of them we mutate because of the short telomeres into something that will resist the chemotherapy. Now, turns out that if you keep telomeres long, you never have the original mutations to begin with. And as a result, you don't get cancer. And I forgot to mention that one of the mutations, so first a cell becomes cancer, then some of the mutations that occur actually cause telomerase to turn on. And as a result, those cancer cells become healthier, but they would have never become healthier if the telomeres hadn't gotten critically short to begin with. And it also turns out that if you have a large detectable cancer already, if a person has a large detectable cancer already, those cancer cells have already figured out a way to keep telomeres long, because cells would never be able to get larger than the size of a small mole on your skin if the telomeres were still shortening. So in order for the cancer to get even as size as when you can normally detect a cancer in a body, the cancer has already figured out a way to solve that telomere shortening problem. Now we are essentially learning from cancer cells. If turning on telomerase makes a cancer cell more healthy, it should also make a non-cancer cell even more healthy. And what we've been finding is that when you make a non-cancer cell more healthy, its chances of becoming cancer are decreased immensely. So the rumor is not true. And I've mentioned this in videos, I've mentioned this in my books, I've gone through the scientific peer-reviewed studies, I've done meta-analyses, which means I've read all the studies and categorized them all into different groups, and was able to show that overwhelmingly, everything shows in the scientific peer-reviewed studies that inducing telomerase and lengthening telomeres decreases the risk of cancer.
Awesome. So basically, and to kind of dummy this down, when we're born, we're an infant, we're just a youngster, we're growing, we have a lot of telomerase. The genes are producing telomerase. We have a lot more telomerase when we're younger, and those genes start getting suppressed as we get older. So if telomerase caused cancer, every baby born in this world would have cancer immediately because they're producing a lot of telomerase. And because they're not born with cancer and have so much telomerase actually being produced, that's proof and evidence to me, along with the science, that telomerase doesn't cause cancer. Cancer can actually find the ability to lift the suppressor and cause cancer. So the safety and efficacy of this, bottom line, is just been a myth that's been rolling out there, and I really wanted to clarify that. So, okay.
Can I add a couple points to that before you move on?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I really appreciate you bringing that up, John, because it is a question that comes up quite a bit. And I remember, Bill, that you would get frustrated for that question because a lot of times it shows up in a newspaper article, and a lot of time, well, every time it's just somebody trying to get in the spotlight and just bringing up old news that's already been debunked. But as I was going through the lab and I was talking to Lancer about this as well, and he said the same things essentially that Bill just said, and you, John, that telomerase doesn't cause cancer, nor does it exacerbate it. There's just other dynamics and factors that do that. And I remember when I first started learning from you, Bill, and this was all taking place, I remember you saying that's one of the things I love working with John He uses raw ingredients. They're natural, they're holistic. And as we're supporting the body, we're activating the body's actual innate ability to thrive, to heal itself, and to do the things that it does. And so, to give the body nutrition and then to think that that body is going to take that nutrition and turn it against you, it just doesn't match up. And so I'm just glad that we're in this audio able to address that, because it does still come up today. So thanks, you guys.
Yeah, that's really something that needed to be addressed. So back, Kjersti,
Yes.
Your question.
Yes.
One of the next product, the second product in the Forever Pack. Excuse me, the Isalean shake. The Isalean shake was actually formulated before the launch of Isagenix back in 2001. We launched in 2002, and we literally searched the world for natural ingredients, proteins, carbohydrates, the good fats, not the trans fatty acids, all the different ingredients that would make up an actual meal replacement, and not only a meal replacement, but a meal replacement that would support lean body mass, building and increasing lean body mass, something that could be used with a lower caloric intake for weight management, weight loss, and so forth. So there are many functions depending on the way you incorporate this into your daily regime. It can work for you in many, many ways. Weight gain, weight loss, weight management, increased bioactivity and muscle energy and so forth. And I just wanted to say a couple of things about the ingredients. We've truly based Isagenix in the foundation in the beginning based on no compromise products with the best of the best ingredients, the best proteins, all the best botanicals. And it takes a lot of research to actually go through vendors, go through growers, look all over not just in one or two continents, but all over the world for the best ingredients. Where would we source, the best whey protein for the dairy shakes? Well, Isagenix fortunately found a company that were using the milk from cows that were grass-fed, that were not injected with steroids, hormones, force-fed, feeds, and so forth. Isagenix have expanded that and actually added to the sources. So the ingredients are extremely important for the shake. The function of the shake, and like I said, the way it's used is very important because it can meet the needs as a meal replacement, a weight loss, supporting lean body mass, supporting good health, supporting the body, with essential minerals, trace minerals. There are so many things that you can talk about. And actually, there are studies, there are clinical studies that Isagenix have supplied the ingredients, the shakes to universities and so forth that actually vet that it does what we say it will do, that it does support lean body mass health, for the weekend warrior, for professional athletes and so forth. So it's one of those products, which Jim Coover calls it one of the most important pillars of health in all of the Isagenix products. And that's, I think, a really, really good reason, why Dave MacArthur gravitated toward, putting together a simple, affordable pack that's a no-brainer, that everybody wants, the basic nutritional, how do I get started to actually support my body? What can I do? What is the beginning product that is going to give me more bang for the buck? And the Isalean shake, both in the dairy and the non-dairy, are that product. And secondly, coupling that with product B, Isagenesis, makes two powerful, powerful products that can truly change a person's health, change the way they feel, change the way they perform, change their energy level, helps, in sleep, perform, being able to sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, you feel better, you can perform better, you think better. There's so many benefits that we could go on for 2 or 3 hours at this, but it's more than we can talk about in just one call. Maybe we'll do another follow-up call and really break down all of the benefits of both these incredible products.
Yeah, it's amazing. And here's the best part is the shakes, no matter what flavor, in whatever shake you're ordering, whether it's the Isalean Pro, the Isalean Dairy Free, they're all so amazing. My sons, Tyler and Zach, they love their Papa's shakes. They love the dairy free. I've been ordering the dairy free and they've been switching it up. It's kind of fun. So I want to kind of toss it back to you, Dave, just in wrapping things up. Anything else that you'd like to share just in closing out our Forever Pack audio? And because obviously this is truly, the Forever Pack is definitely a movement. It's created so much excitement. It's, as you had shared at the beginning of our time together, it's simple, it's affordable, it's duplicatable. You're doing presentations where there's almost 100% people that are enrolling, that are attending. So anything else that we need to know in regards to the Forever Pack?
Yeah, just a couple things, and thank you, John and Bill and Kjersti. When I heard about telomeres and the in-depth role that they play, I was just literally astounded that I had never heard of telomeres before. But it was such a breaking science that, Bill was really leading the way on. And so when I heard him, I was immediately impacted. My whole perception on health and aging and all of the challenges that are associated with it were really reverse engineered all the way down now to this very foundational level, which, as people are taking supplements, that's what they're trying to get to, and they don't even know that a telomere exists. I have many people who have come to me and said, I'll say it this way, their healthcare professional doesn't even know what a telomere is. They haven't heard of it or they don't remember it. And to be able to pioneer something in a way that we have nutritionally, it's just so exciting to be a part of it. And the most exciting thing is the quality of life. Like John was saying, the energy, the recovery, the stamina, the endurance, the mental clarity, just all of these things combined, and adding that shake to it. It's my favorite. It's my go-to. I've been doing it for 14 years. And, I have people who will take the residue of that shake, John, and in the cup, they'll rinse it and then they'll pour it into their plants. And I have somebody who owns a cactus nursery who says they're seeing cactuses grow to heights they've never seen. Somebody just told me the other day they've been pouring it out on their big giant bush in the front yard. Right where they've been pouring it, it's blooming flowers right there. The rest of the bush isn't. That's the minerals that are in there that are feeding that plant life, and it's the same minerals that are getting to us. And so, Kjersti, just, my mind is flooded with a lot of things right now. I'm just super excited for where we're at in this point and the impact and the role that we can play in human health. These two products it's not that we're trying to keep these other products away from people. We're just integrating things slowly in a way that's manageable for the individual. And it really is a win-win. And what I see is that people end up building an isopantry. They end up having everything in there, from whey thins to the snacks to the bars to the Cleanse for Life and the Ionic Supreme. They just build on that. And so and the longevity and the retention that's created because of that approach. And so, again, I'm so excited for this audio to get into the hands of the associates and to all of those that are going to listen to it. And just so excited for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you, John and Dr. Bill. We so appreciate all three of you being with us today, sharing all that you did. Yes, go ahead.
I do have a comment. What are we going to see in the future? That's probably one of the most important questions. What is the evolution of these products? What is the evolution of the Forever Pack? And the contents, and what will the Forever Pack actually do? This is really the genesis of getting a person. It's a no-brainer, as Dave said. It's the genesis of getting a person, on the right track, back to health, with a couple of products that are easy. They'll make a huge, huge impact on health. They're going to feel better, and it's going to lead to a more refined regime of creating more of a system of what's their next step, what can they add, after the Forever Pack that's going to even impact their lives even further, with like Ionic Supreme and other products and so forth. So here's what I see in the future. First, addressing the Isalean shake, both the dairy and the non-dairy. It's evolving. There's so many different shakes out on the market. The keto, with all protein and so forth. There are studies that are so negative on the keto diet, yet, it's a fad. It's been here before. Like the Atkins diet was, 25, 30 years ago, and so forth. The evolution in the science of the shake is actually going to become a reality in the future product generations of the shake. I think there's going to be a better well balance. This is kind of a hint, a better well balance of the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, the sugars. We're going to come to a happy medium of what is the best balance of all of these nutrients as a synergy that are going to impact human health in our diets today. And that's really important because, as we've always said, Isagenix is never going to be a standstill company. It's going to be a company that evolves with science, technology. We will evolve as technologies evolve. So that's really important. Now, regarding product B, isogenesis, we're screening new ingredients, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be very, very exciting. I've shared with Dave a couple of photos, a couple of little bits of information about the 5th generation, and I'm telling you, I don't think he can sleep at night just thinking about waiting for that 5th generation to come out. It will take a little bit. We're working on it, but the evolution of that and working with Sierra Sciences and Dr. Andrews and Lancer and all of the scientists there at Sierra Sciences team, we're going to make a true difference. And we are evolving to a more advanced telomere support. That product is here to stay. We're changing the world, and it's going to continue to evolve. And I'm telling you, I don't know of another company right now today that can make the claims and state, we are on the cutting edge of science and technology because we're doing stuff that nobody else is able to do. It's cost a tremendous amount of money. But I'm telling you, Dr. Andrews' mission is to cure aging. Dave MacArthur's mission is to change a person's life, one person at a time. He truly wants to make an impact on this earth. Dave and I have had conversations and texts back and forth, on, what do we really want? We both literally were placed on this earth, and Bill Andrews as well, to make an impact on world health. And it's becoming a reality. The dream, 17 years ago, in founding a company that Jim and Kathy Coover, they were retired, I was retired. We locked arms, we joined arms and decided we're going to do this right. If we're going to go back into the nutraceutical industry, we want to make an impact that's here to stay. And I'm telling you right now, I am very excited, very proud of Dave for his innovation, his insight in putting together the Forever Pack because, Dave, it's simple. It's a pillar that's the beginning of a person's health. Something that's very easy, it's very affordable, and everybody should do it. So you're literally the wave and enthusiasm and excitement. This is truly growing like a wildfire, and I support it 100%. So
John, thank you. I just have to say, I can't sleep. I am more excited than I've ever been. And Kjersti, I know we're going a little bit long, but I think people appreciate all the information that's coming across. And in fact, I know they do. And they'll appreciate this. I have to share this in addition to everything else that's been shared. When do they add more products? That's going to be a question that comes up in people's minds as they start sharing. And some people are going to come in having already used Isagenix before. They're familiar with the Cleanse for Life. And what I like to say is just like, let's get people started again at the right mindset. There's a lot of people that are going back to the turned off auto ships and they're saying, how would you like to revisit Isagenix with me? I've learned something new. There's a science that's just going to blow your mind when you see this. It's so simple. It's so affordable. We have one gentleman who's only gone back to his auto ships that have been turned off. 22 of them have come back on, and 13 of them are now consultants, meaning they've shared it with 2 people and enrolled them and gotten started on the Forever Pack. And so how soon do we start them? And if somebody says, I just want to do the cleanse, well, if they were started right in the first place, they would have never stopped, right? So they wouldn't have to be restarting again had they created that lifestyle. So I sort of say, let's talk people off the ledge if they're just wanting to come in and get to that finish line in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. We say, look, let's get your body alkaline. Let's get you on the nutrition. And for this first month, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in having them go through the first month with the Forever Pack. And what we see is that kids start dipping into the shakes, they love it, and they're running out of product before the end of the month rather than having more than enough product left at the end of the month. And so they're ordering more. They're not turning the auto ships off. And so again, I just believe there's a lot of wisdom in leading that person, because really as associates, we're responsible for their success. And just remind them, look, this is a lifestyle, and we want to create a lifestyle that's going to serve you for the rest of your life and to generations to come in your family. We're 3 generations now in Isagenix. So I think that's very important. And also just the support that we have from corporate, from Jim and Kathy, all the way down through Travis Ogden and Travis Garza. They are really loving this concept with the Forever Pack. Now, it's another way to approach. It's not the only way, and we're not judging anybody's way of how they share Isagenix. There are going to be those that want to continue to do it with the packs that we have, the value packs and the savings that comes there. So everybody is just going to have these different options and choose what they feel is best for them. And we're all one team. We're all working together, not against each other. We're all working towards the same finish line. And that's creating the healthiest people on the planet, and in the process, creating the largest health and wellness company in the world. And so I think there's a lot of wisdom in those words, all the words that we've shared today. And then as soon as they get past that first month, you know what, start integrating these other things, start integrating the Cleanse for Life and these other products. But what they'll do is if they do feel overwhelmed because they jumped in a little too quick, even after that first month, they'll fall back to the Forever Pack. And that's what they do. You're not losing your customers because you started them with a very easy to understand, simple to do, affordable approach. And so let's go out there and let's continue to, unite with the vision and mission of Isagenix to accomplish that and create the healthiest people on the planet through these products that are simply unparalleled. Thank you, guys.
Love it. Thank you so much, Dave. Again, thank you, Dr. Bill, John, and Dave. You guys are incredible men, and we so appreciate your passion, your knowledge, your expertise. John, I know, Dad, I can't even begin to tell you how proud I am of you because of all of your accomplishments in your work and how you have really performed and done so much in the lab to better people's lives, and this is your life, this is your passion. I'm just so proud of you, and same with you, Dave, Dr. Bill. Just grateful for all of you, and for everybody that's listening. Thanks for listening in. We appreciate your time and your energy. Also wanted to make note that all of the statements that have been made in this audio have not been evaluated by the FDA, and to keep in mind that any of the Isagenix products are never intended to diagnose, treat, or cure disease or illness. So remember that the body is a miracle. And with that, until next time, take care. Best of health. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.